I would really like for this series to hurry up and give me the the cover for Volume One. That's like that's the thing when it comes to like early series for me is because I really like the setup. I'm thinking about trying to update it, but I really like having the volume in the background as like I think it just adds a little bit of flavor to the series. Maybe add like a banner around it or something. I got some ideas, but anyway, from this, we had what nine chapters into Bone Collection. I think it's been doing pretty well, at least like how well it's being received in Japan. I don't from what someone's told me is like Exorcist style things are really popular over there. I know there's been a lot of Exorcist style series, but I didn't know like how big the idea was. I don't know. Either way, with all this, like this is the first chapter that seems to be just kind of like a out in the open chapter. There's like it's not related to like it doesn't seem very related to like any of the other plot related or any of the other plot stuff set up. It seems like it's just a one-off chapter that still is pretty good. I think that's still pretty good, and because within this series, I like that the main character, I like his power, I like his setup, and I like how it all works. So when you have like that combined with the setting of the story, when you have these yokai that people seem to indiscriminately like, most people seem to just have issues with. They find them intimidating. They think they're dangerous, and I mean, really, when you look at the yokai, it makes me think of obviously they're intelligent, like they're definitely humanoid and fully one's fully capable of speech and whatnot. But a lot of them kind of reminds me of like animals and stuff. In the idea of, or even just people. There's good ones and there's bad ones, and then some are just harmless and they're not going to cause any problems. But everyone just seems to be like, well, if they're there, they're dangerous. We don't need to. We need to do something about them. But here they have you have Pyra and Kazami. They're going to like this small village that there's been a yokai they're getting ready to deal with, and immediately run into some old dude who he's like very worked up. He seems very unhappy that these guys are here, but like nervous, more of unhappy. Just gonna be like, I can't let these dudes figure out what I'm doing. We gotta be a little bit more careful. And that's when this little fox-looking fella. I don't even know what this little guy would be. He's a little two-tailed fox-looking guy. He's just like biting onto Kazami's arm, and the old guy's explaining that he's explaining that a couple of years, I think it was a couple of years ago, his wife died, and he wanted to like leave his business to his son, but his son ended up moving to Tokyo. That's a little sad though. I wonder like maybe like I don't know if we're ever gonna see this character again because I don't even think his name was given out. Maybe he'll be somebody that we can come back to at some point if this series lives through the axe point, the danger zone of Shonen Jump. But I would like it to just cause the idea of this old dude who's clearly been in some been in some stressful setup. Like if your wife dies and he's got a business that he's now pretty much having to do on his own. Probably, I don't know. I feel like that would get very worrisome, and so he ended up just kind of like not sure what was going to happen with his business of this farm, and he's like it was too taxing on him. He's an old man. He can only do so much by himself, and that's when this yokai showed up, and he's like saying it's like this little guy's name is Milk Boy, and silly name. I don't know. I heard someone say "milk boy" as like an insult not that long ago. So I don't even know what the insult means, but I don't know. It's not as it doesn't seem as bad when it's on some nice little fox dude in farmer outfit. He's even got overalls. But he's saying how this little guy showed up and his breath like pasteurizes and enriches milk. So he's able to skip a lot of steps on his farm. So this little guy's able to do a lot to help him, which is nice. I like that. I like that you have the positive yokai. So I'm hoping that this series, because I was wondering if the series does well, what kind of stuff are they going to do further out? And even though the series has like action and stuff, it seems to also just kind of I think it's got a lot of good comedy, but I'm curious to know about like what they're going to do with the world setting, because they could easily do some nice stuff where the maybe people slowly start to in the broader aspect of humanity start to accept more of the yokai. Because clearly there are good ones, and there's clearly ones that are helpful. I mean, look at this little guy. If you have more guys like this that, in ways, can benefit, benefit stuff like society and production of and anything really, that you're gonna want them. I mean, obviously there's gonna be dangerous ones, but there's obviously dangerous people and stuff. And they're like, while they're kind of explaining, he's like, the old guy's like getting ready to pay him off. He's just gonna try and get whatever scraps of cash he has to try and get Kazami and Pyra to kind of like look the other way on this. Kazami's like, no, I don't want. He's like, I don't want to. It's fine. He's like in tears, and that not only is it like he understanding, because it's a sad story. This guy was, his wife died, his son moved away, and things were starting to get hard on him. And then he's got this little guy that comes and helps him. And I think not only that, but I would imagine that even if it doesn't show it, I imagine in Kazami's mind that he's remembering his the Kappa friend that he had that we saw in the flashback in the start of the series. I imagine he would think about that. His little buddy that he's just trying to he's trying to keep around. He's trying to keep safe. So he's willing to pay people off in the hopes that they don't do anything about this. Because he definitely doesn't. Cause he doesn't seem dangerous. I mean, like I don't know how this guy could even be dangerous if his power is literally he can just kind of like pasteurize and enrich milk with his breath. He just blows on it, and fixes it up. Seems like a nice little fella. But then you have another exorcist show up. This dude who just seems like a not so helpful individual. Because like Kazami's fine with it. Pyra's like fine. He's like just wants milk as like a trade. She just wants to drink some top quality milk. And this other dude shows up. He's like, listen, you lower rank exorcists, get out of the way. This is my job or my jurisdiction. He's like a middle rank guy. I bet you anything Kazami can completely destroy this dude and fight. I mean, even though he's got like OP main character powers, but I mean, this dude, not only is he like he seems like a jerk. I doubt he's very powerful. He seems kind of like lame, but Kazami's doing his thing. He knows how to work this guy instead of just trying to flex on him. He's like, all right, I know exactly how to do this, and he just seems to be hanging out with the guy. And it's like he's like chilling with him. The dude is just like he's like, oh, he takes him out for like lunch. It's like at a hostess club, and so the dude's getting some drinks, hanging out with some pretty girls. So there's some nice stuff going on, and then, like you have this. I like that you had the hostess chick just kind of sitting there, and Pyra just looks mad, and like there's like the part where her head's just kind of like looming over the couch, just looking very irritated. I thought that was pretty funny, but after that point, there's just seems to be some general turmoil starting to set up of people getting mad. The civilians like upset that the yokai. There's a yokai mess like doing stuff with this milk, and these guys are like, oh, can't believe you would do this, blah blah blah. And the guy's like trying to explain. The little guy's trying to explain like these guys, like this little guy, he's not dangerous. He's not anything bad. But little milk boy's like, I like that he immediately is like, I don't want to cause any more problems. I'm just gonna leave. And right then, out of there, you have this big, dangerous freaking yokai pop up. You have this big, spooky-ass looking worm, very intimidating looking creature, just kind of take position. And what rank was it? Let me see. It was a B rank cowshed crusher. So it's a creature that specializes specifically in pretty much like the description is it just destroys cowsheds for fun. There's like doesn't seem to be like, oh yeah, that crushes them because it likes to eat it likes to eat cows, like, but like as a paste. It just seems like, yeah, this thing sucks. It's like a big jerk off animal. Or I guess not animal. The weird monster spirit. It's absolutely not friendly. And who comes to the rescue? Coming in to try and help. Here's Milk Boy, little guy. I figured this was going to be like one of those reveals where it's like, oh yeah, he's actually really powerful or something, and maybe he knew that like, oh yeah, if they find out who what I'm really capable of, though, they won't like me, and it turns out he was really strong and stuff. But no, he's just a helpful little guy. He's just trying to do something helpful. He's a good little dude, and thankfully you have Pyra and Kazami who are they're sitting off on the side, but they're doing what they can in this scenario. They they use their power. They have this like skeletal hand thing that he's able to make like little bone constructs out of. Like he has like this big skeletal hand come out of the ground, obviously seen in this panel, and they're able to make it look like Milk Boy is the one that defeated him, which I really like. I think that that was a really positive thing to do in the series. It not like, oh man, this kid's a hero, maybe I should listen to him, kind of like with that Exorcist. Instead of it being set up like that, where it was more of like, oh wow, this kid's a big deal. I should listen to him, or something maybe like maybe this kid's a hero, and he explains like this yokai's he's a good something something something. They're all not all of them are bad kind of scenario. Instead, they made him look like a hero, which I really like. And then he was able to get exempt as this low level yokai that he's fine, he's not dangerous, and he's able to be around. I thought that was a really solid thing. I really liked that part at the beginning of their early in the series. I thought it was a really good character moment. I didn't even mention how like the funny part of the chapter, how they got there. It looks like Akifui just threw them threw them like darts over this area into this like zone with into this quest rather. So interesting enough. I like this chapter. I thought this was pretty solid. Like I said, I thought this was a pretty good solid character part where it shows it's showing the main character and what he's does for kind of like problem solving and how he's helping this old man and this little yokai. So the people understand like he's not dangerous, he's a good little guy, and he's beneficial. So I'm actually really hoping maybe instead of like because you have now Kazami's not gonna have to hide his he's not gonna have to hide the fact that he's got the yokai spell and where he gets his powers, but maybe he's gonna like hide him using it to the public in ways that are beneficial to like show like good yokai and stuff. I think that would be really cool, just for him helping like the relations between like good yokai and humans and stuff. I think that would be a really interesting way to take the series. Anyway, other than that, no, comment below. Thumbs up the video, friend the like button, subscribe button, and check out my other videos. For that, I appreciate everybody's already subscribed, and I thank you all for listening. Bye.